What's up, people? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at thecoalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka a punk with toys on all the social media. And I had to put a hat on, not only because it's football season, it's time for Michigan, but we're actually recording in the day, so I'm kind of blurred out.
Yeah, there's a lot of light. Yeah, even in my office here, I got light beaming from everywhere.
I like this whole side. It's like I feel like I'm like Two-Face right now.
You're glowing. You've been blessed. Oh boy, but we have been blessed because here we are with episode 4. It feels like just last week we had 3 episodes. Oh man, this is for the Terminalist Dark Wolf episode 4, The Sound of Guns.
We're halfway done.
Halfway done. All right.
We're halfway done.
Real quick housekeeping and question to you, the people. How do you feel about this format of Amazon and a lot of other networks doing this where they drop multiple episodes day one? I can understand if they're half-hour episodes. Some shows does. I think it was a Twisted Metal. Peacock did that. Those are like 30-minute episodes, something like that. They drop 3 or 4. But when you have something like this, we saw this with Reacher as well, where it's an hour-long episode, 3 drop day one. Do you watch all 3? Or do you just space them out? How do you feel about it? Because we're on the fence, right? You talked about a little bit. Go ahead.
I think it's fatiguing, and especially you have. So Reacher is 8 episodes. They drop 3 episodes at once. It leaves you again with 5 more weeks. This is only 7 episodes. They drop 3. I think it works. And again, you and I discussed this. It's summertime. People want to be out doing stuff, right? In the winter,
the summer. Yeah, definitely.
Again, I live in Michigan, big block M here. You live in Iowa, you grew up in New York, so same thing, right?
Yeah.
In the winter, again, maybe you go ski, snowboarding, snowmobiling, but I'm not into that type of stuff. I don't care. If Netflix wants to drop a whole season on a Saturday and Sunday, I may not be doing anything. I'm more likely not. But in the summer, I want to be doing stuff. But to change that, this isn't like it's 15 episodes and they're dropping 3 episodes. It's 7 episodes. They drop 3, which the first one was like an hour and 5 minutes, if I recall. So 3 hours. I mean, that's an Avengers Infinity Saga movie right there. I think it's just too much. I think it's too much, and then you're done with the show before you pretty much even start, and then you forget about it. That's been the biggest issue with Netflix. I love it. Again, when it's cold out and you don't want to do anything, but you tend to forget. When they were dropping Cobra Kai, you completely forgot. You're like, man, it's been a year since I've seen this, and it gets put on the back burner for people.
And that was also short. Those are half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
So you could just squeeze them out.
And Netflix is different because that's what they do. That's their concept. They don't do, week to week. Disney, if I am correct, normally drops 2 episodes for the most part and then goes into the season. Amazon is notorious for 3 episodes and they go into the season. But when you only have 7 episodes and you're talking about 3 long episodes, now you're leaving people with only a few more weeks and then it's over. And it's not like you have the Terminalist season 2 like right around the corner.
No.
Paramount, I think Paramount does the same thing, right? 2 episodes.
Paramount does it, 2 episodes. We had that with Dexter Resurrection. Remember, there was those 2 episodes. Apple did the same. We're covering Chief of War, same thing, 2 episodes. Murderbot as well. They have 2 episodes. Gen V, Josh and I are going to be covering that 3 episodes. That's on Amazon. So it's.
Well, I think the 2 episodes kind of works because a lot of times going back to when we were younger in the 80s and in the 90s, when they came back into a new season, it almost always seemed like it was a 2-parter because they want to draw people in to that second episode to keep them going, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of understand the 2 episode thing, But I think 3 is just, I mean, especially when you have a short season, 7, 8 episodes, that's not that much. If you go back to like, I mean, if you're doing Blue Bloods, if you were doing something like this where there's 21 episodes a season, no one cares, right?
All right. So, people, this is not just us ranting. This was really a question to you. We've been discussing this for a while, but now this is to you. How do you guys feel about this format with these networks with 2, 3 episodes dropping day one? You like it? You don't like it? You watch them all? You sprinkle them out? How does it work for you? Think about it. Comment below. Let us know.
And when you're
But
commenting, hit the like button, hit the
yeah,
subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time that we drop another show.
yeah, we got a bunch of other new people that jumped in the comments. People subbed. This is how it works. We always tell everybody it's not one of those, oh, yeah, everybody go. We want people that are like-minded, that are into the shows, whether to talk about the good or the bad. We are not experts. We're just like you guys watching this show, going over it, giving our thoughts, and we ask for you to do the same. Go ahead, jump in, figure something out that we missed, or you're not too sure about something. Some people were mentioning certain parts of the show that were different from the books. Because remember, this is standalone. The Carr did this separate with Amazon. This is not based off of one of his novels. Same characters in the universe, but just a different story, which is great. So some things are going to be different. And that's fine, right? We all want some kind of variety, especially if you've read all the books. I have not, but there are those out there and they want to be surprised. So thankfully, this seems like it's throwing some surprises because, man, this episode, and we've noticed a pattern with how these episodes are being played out. It's a buildup. They're doing the slow buildup and then pow, right at the end. We saw that in the last episode. Slow buildup, meet. All right, how are you doing? Oh, we're on the train. Boom. Now we got chaos happening in the streets, right? So here we go. Same thing, but let's get into this episode. Right. We got Hastings getting into the car. He gets a package. He sees a little package. He opens it up.
Well, first off, we have Hastings and Edwards walk in, and Haverford is packing up stuff to send to Ish's family. He's estranged from his wife and everything.
Yeah.
He's basically married to the job. And that's something I've always wondered, how any type of special forces, the CIA, how do you even in real life maintain a family? I mean, you are married to the job. This is not something that you can half-ass in life, right? I mean, you are protecting
too hard
the world, the country.
Yeah, it just seems impossible. I get it. You want to have that. Everybody needs some kind of companionship. You need to do it, but when your job is like this, where you're taking across who knows part of the world for who knows how long, and you can't tell anybody, that's tough. That's
and we've already seen it. Yeah, we've already seen it affect Edwards in this series. So
yeah, that marriage is over.
Yeah, but then we get to Hastings getting in the car and taking a phone call from someone.
Guy says he knows his dad. And it's like, oh, we know your dad, and I know the situation you're in. You're working with Jed. I can give you some background on him. He talks about how he was the backbone against the Iranians, and he was part of a group that 8 members of his crew died. So he has this vendetta, and it's been going on for decades, and that's fine.
He lost like 3 vertebrae. Like he was in it. Like he has a reason to fight. And basically he's one of the good guys. That's what it boils down to, right? Like the person.
And Ish was part of that group.
He can't be in 84, 83.
No, in one of those missions, because he brought it up when he first met Ish. Remember? Okay. And he said, oh, we go back. Remember? And we remember those missions that we went on? Yeah. So, I mean, maybe not that particular one, but he was involved in a lot of those earlier missions, which is the other close connection between Jed and Ish, why he feels the way he does.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. Oh, no, I threw you off.
You did, because I wrote like basically the whole thing was he was just, basically asking. Jed is one of the good guys. So we've kind of established that, hey, he's not going to be the traitor in this if there is one. But it looks like that Haverford is listening in on him. He has his own little phone. You can see a little wire, but we weren't able to figure out if it said anything. Though towards the end, we do kind of see something. but I still haven't established whether or not he was
Yeah, was
listening in or
he
not.
was he listening on that call, and how did he get to listen in on that call? That's a whole other operation because I don't think he knew much. Because if I remember right, it looked like Hastings opened up an envelope and found the phone.
And that's just it. Like what?
So it's not like, oh, I have my whole team's phone tapped so that way I
Yeah,
can
but I
communicate.
kind of feel like the person that reached out to Hastings also kind of told Jed. Well, actually, he did. We know this for a fact that someone tells Jed
Yeah.
um, about everything. But then we switched to this birthday party. There's a lot of filler in this. Now, I will say, even though I thought this maybe went on a little too long, the one thing that this is showing us is that from the point of view of these terrorists, the bad guys, they have
Mhm,
families. They are real people.
mhm.
Like it's they're not just a bunch of guys living in caves and everything. They they have homes, they have families, um, and we see uh the other guys come in to the birthday party, and then they kind of walk downstairs and they have their conversation, and this is all in subtitle,
Yeah.
so a lot of fun trying to write stuff down and read.
Yeah, exactly. Khalid, it was a Khalid network. That's it. I was looking up because I was like, I remember the name
Okay.
because you were talking about all the type of people. Yeah, so it's like it's an organized network. These are different people, different operations and parts of business, and they're wheeling and dealing in all kinds of things. Later on, we also find out that they deal with a lot of black market nuclear trade parts and deals and things like that. And yeah, they show up at the party and they put the pressure. I mean, you don't need to read all the subtitles to see what's going on because you could see it on the expressions of his face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're putting the pressure. They know what he's involved in. They know with Tal and all this stuff, and pretty much make a threat. Don't do what we want you to do, or else this goes bye bye. We saw that at the beginning of this episode. It's always the families that are like the linchpin to all these things. Because remember, back at the base, the same thing with the interpreter. It was like everything was fine. He's great. He's cool. He gets to visit his house, and next thing you know, he's blowing himself up in the cafeteria. No,
Yeah, and they basically tell him, thank you for everything you've done for your country. And so this has all to do with the stuff that Cyrus has created. When they leave, Vahid, I think I'm saying his name right. Vahid, Cyrus's brother, he starts questioning him. Why are we giving them this stuff? Why are we giving them this stuff?
hmm hmm
They know everything. They know everything that can go wrong. Um, and I kind of took it as like, and again, this is the arrogance of Americans. You kind of take it you kind of take it as like, why are we going to wake the sleeping giant? Like, we can't win this. It doesn't matter if we have nuclear weapons or not. In the end, we don't stand a chance, and we're just basically going to wipe out everything.
yeah,
That's kind of how I took it. And they didn't say that, but you kind of get that vibe, like, but he realizes like this is not going to end well for
no.
anyone.
But he feels like he's in a rock and a hard place. What is he to do
Yeah.
if he doesn't go along with this? He already knows. They know where he lives. It's not a surprise. He's not hiding somewhere. They see his family. You put everybody at risk
But
at this
Cyrus
point.
seems like he doesn't. Cyrus doesn't seem like he's at like they threatened my family. He seems like he's a willing part of this. Like he wants to be part of this, and he's the brains of
Mm,
this operation. At least
yeah.
that's how I. He's the one that
Oh,
created all of this.
yeah.
So,
People, real quick in the comments, go ahead. How do you feel about this? What were you interpreting from this conversation with the brothers? Just so
uh,
we,
and then we flip back to the team, and they're playing chess.
yeah, yeah.
And again,
Everyone,
very
yeah, go ahead.
well. You know what? I take that back. There was, you know what? This foreshadowed the end of the episode because they talk about how that's the great thing about chess. Even though rook, I think he said the rook can take the queen or the king,
Yeah, something to that effect. Because
and
yeah, mhm.
it kind of leads to the end of the episode when you think about it now.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot that was going back and forth. And then as we get into later toward the end of the episode, where we see the guy show up talking with Tal, and we instantly know, and with the envelope and all that stuff, it was given away. If there
Yeah.
was any gripe that I had with this episode, it was that we could have done without the scene at the party for the birthday party, because that gave away too much. That gave away too much, especially as we get
Unless
later
there's a
in.
swerve. It seems like there's going to be some swerves in this. Then, because the one thing I will say so far, going all the way to the end of this episode, is that everyone is feeling differently. Hastings clearly, he is by the, I don't want to say by the book, military, but he's really by the book. Like, we have one person that's giving intel, and you're not following your lead. Like, he feels that, and we'll get into it, that Edwards is just, he has his own,
Yeah.
he's in his own world right now.
They got some stuff going on, but yeah, we'll just say right here, right while they're playing chess, Jed comes in, the rest of the team is there, and then he comes out with, "Oh, my source. We have my source. The bearings are on the move. If you remember, the bearings is what's needed
Yep.
for the nuclear operation. That's what the professor was selling. So these are on the move. They have to get ready. They're gonna come up with a strategy. The whole thing. All right, sounds good. But wait a minute, Jed wants to talk to Hastings." And then they get
Yeah.
this.
Well, they explain the plan to everyone. Eliza's taking the lead. That was a mistake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got Eliza taking the lead. She's
Yeah.
with Ben. Ben is going to be her shooter. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
basically,
Mhm.
they break down that they're going to swap the bearings, and that these bearings here will look identical, but they won't spin. They won't spin to the speed they need them to
Yeah, to
create a.
refine the materials,
Yeah.
and they'll just crap out. And that's it. So it sounds simple enough. I mean, when they go through the whole process of like, oh, yeah, we're going to hit this convoy. All right. We all got our roles. And once we hit the convoy, we're going to go in and swap out the bearings.
I'm just
So
gonna say, I would have gone. I would have gone with Bones Swiss ceramic bearings, the best skateboard bearings
Oh,
in the
nice,
world.
nice. Yeah, the
Uh,
Swiss bearings,
no,
yeah,
the
they spin for
ceramic
days.
though.
The
The
ceramic ones?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I won't pay $150 for bearings. 90, yeah,
That's how much they cost now?
yeah. Well, no,
I've
that's
been
for the
paying 40,
that
50
that's
most.
that's for the ceramic.
Oh, okay.
But if you break them down, you compare. Now, ceramic will, if you take care of them, they will last much longer. But Swiss are just fine for $80, $90.
Oh, all right, let's see.
Keep your bearings clean in your skateboards, people. Anyway,
There we go. So anyway, just so we do, let's see. Yeah, we got Hastings and Tal. They're going to be handling with the fake bearings, right? We have
Yep.
Mo, who's going to be with Landry. They're going to deal with weapon acquisition, right? That's their plan.
Yep.
So everybody has their role, and Jed says he's going to fill in for Ish, right? So okay, all right, but I throw that out the window because what we saw at the end, he was nowhere near the vicinity of where all the action was taking place. So
no, but he had to take care of someone.
yeah. But so once all that's happened and they figure out what they're going to do, that's when he's like, "Hey, Hastings, we got to talk."
Yeah,
And so
and
he
I like
calls
this.
him. Yeah.
I like this because this is my whole thing. Hastings is clearly the leader. This show is about Ben Edwards, but Hastings is the leader. And I know I mentioned this on one of the other episodes that we had done. Normally in something like this, you look at the terminal list, in the terminal list, what's his face? Reese. He's
Reese, yeah,
clearly
James
the
Reese.
leader. This here, I mean, this is about Ben Edwards. He's not the leader. Hastings is the lead. He's the lieutenant. Hastings Edwards is the chief. So he's the
Chief.
second in command. So I like that this is playing this way because if you watch SEAL Team, those number one and number two, they were always, when they talked outside of work or in front of the group, they could question each other. So we have the same dynamic here. But Jed wants to talk to him, and he says, "Hey, I have a lot of people." And it's okay if you want to question this. That's fine. Like he's perfectly fine with that. But he wants him to know that, hey, I know everything that you're asking,
Mhm,
which
mhm.
can make you feel really good.
No, but his main concern, Hastings' main concern is who's your source? And he's like,
Yes.
oh, well, this is my source, a shepherd. And we worked alongside each other for a long time in other operations. I trust him. And he's like, have you verified any of his information, his provided intel for these operations? And he was like, oh, I trust him. And he's like, no, no, no. But he's all right, let's flip it back. He's like, what about you and Mo? Right? Do you trust Mo? Yes, I know his family values and this and this. I know what he feels. Exactly. He's like, Shepard's all about family. And
And,
I've trusted him all these years.
but this is something that's been brought up now a couple times where, um, Jed had mentioned to Hastings, like you operators, you have to have 2, 3, 4 different sources when they're working on one source. And Hastings has also brought it up to Edwards, like there's one source. You can't
Yeah.
in an actual, I'm assuming, and if I'm wrong, then correct me. It seems like in an actual military operation, you can't just have one source per se for like a
I mean,
big operation like this.
it's
But
like
this
that
is,
for almost everything, though.
yeah,
Think about that.
this is
When you're in school
CIA.
doing reports, it's like, all right, vet your sources. Mention everything, cite your work. If you just put one, I went off of this New York Times article or whatever. It's like, okay, fine, that's one. But what about the others? Let's find out more. You can't do it. So I get Hastings' concern here.
Yeah,
It's valid.
but he also hasn't worked in these covert ops like this, right? This is CIA. If something goes wrong,
Yeah.
there's no knowledge of it, right?
Hmm.
And it's a joint operation, as we know. So, but the inside source is the shepherd.
The shepherd
Um, and then we see Edwards and Edwards and Eliza
on
uh,
the
on the
motorcycle.
motorcycle, the tandem motorcycle.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the line here. He's like, what's the speed limit? And then it's like, does it matter? And he's like, no. And he puts his shield down, like, like, all right, there we go.
it's
I got
that
that.
was as cheesy as Over the Top,
Come on, yeah,
where,
yeah, it's bringing it back. That's a nod for those who remember those type of movies with the one-liners in the 80s and 90s. We love it. It's fun. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, this is cringy. No, it's funny. It's funny. It's why not? Let's go with it.
so they end up in this tunnel, or they're showing the tunnel. They stop there. This is going to be their access point. This is where they're going to cut them off because obviously no one can attack them from the top. There's only two different entrances. But they go into the maintenance tunnels, the maintenance corridors, not the maintenance tunnels, maintenance corridors, and they're looking for stuff. And they're seeing where they can hack into different things. I'm assuming look at the lights. And of course, then we hear a maintenance worker. And quickly she stops and kisses him to throw the guy off and then talks to the maintenance guy. And basically, he said, what did he say? He says, oh, this isn't
Yeah.
the first time I've seen a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah,
with
they
your
come
neck.
down here to fool around. He didn't care. He was like, "God, keep doing what you're doing." Because to him, it doesn't matter. It's like, what's here? It's just a maintenance corridor. Yeah, there's some equipment here, but they didn't look malicious. They're not carrying all kinds of stuff with them. I'm sure he saw the motorcycle outside as well.
Yeah,
So
they were
whatever.
the maintenance corridors are pretty big, but we also don't see exactly how big this tunnel is and where it goes to.
No, no, exactly. And the whole point is just to set things up for Tal so she could hack into and turn off the CCTV. Because
Yeah,
the plan is to hit the convoy as it passes through the tunnel because
yeah.
of the shielding, and they can get in, get out, and then yeah, easy peasy. All right,
Uh,
that's
then
the
we
plan.
then we get Hastings and Tal in the car talking and literally they're talking about the game on the phone, right?
He was talking about rugby. It seems like he was trying to explain. I was going to take audio on this, but I was like, you know what, this will probably get lost to a lot of people. And as he's trying to explain some of the things about rugby, but then at the same time, she's not even paying attention because she's playing some phone game. And he was like, "Oh, you can't understand rugby, but you can understand this game." I was like, "Yeah, this is simple." And you say like, "Beep boop beep beep." There's something going on.
Uh, but then we see the car pulling in, and this is her cue. She's got to get out and she's got to talk to who I'm assuming is the shepherd, right? I mean, that's what we're,
Yeah,
but I don't think she ever calls him this because
no,
this is um, Mordecai.
Yeah.
Am I correct on
She
this?
gets Mordecai. She gives him the name. This is the same dude that we saw at the party. So if
Yep, we did
somebody is
see him
not
there.
paying close attention, they're like, "Oh, who's this guy?"
But
Another.
I don't think he talked at the party, right? He was just in the background.
He was just there. Yeah,
Okay.
if I remember. If not, hey, go ahead in the comments. But I'm pretty sure he was just there. But she comes out, and you point this out because man, this happened quick. I'm taking notes. I'm looking back and forth. He handed her an envelope, and she just like makes that
Well,
disappear.
she does it when she sees when Hastings comes walking in. Hastings is not supposed to get out of the car, and she seems to hide it really quickly. And then she makes
Yeah.
it. She says, "Why, why are you out of the car?" And basically, Hastings, who doesn't feel right about anything here, probably for good reason. Um,
He wants to be in the know. He's not.
he's a
He
lieutenant.
doesn't. Yeah, exactly. He's a lieutenant. He's always expected to be in the know and not left in the car.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, I'm gonna handle this. You stay here for how long? Till I come back. Take it. Know your role.
yeah.
No, he's not doing
Again,
that. Come on now.
he's one of the SEAL team leaders. He's not some hired muscle.
Hmm.
So again, he's not someone who would be left
Yeah.
behind. You're gonna explain everything to him. And again, same with how Edward should be in the know, right? Um, but yeah, he walks in and he starts questioning things. Um,
Yeah. But the guy. So this is, and it's valid questions. All right. So when Malachi opens up the box, he shows these are the fake bearings. They look
Mordecai,
Mordecai. See, there you go.
Malachi is
Malachi.
the
Okay.
children of the
The
corn.
children of the court. Mordecai. All right. So Mordecai opens up the casing, shows the fake bearings, says, "Hey, they pretty much are real bearings. They're just not as good as the
Yes.
ones that the professor is
They're the
selling."
German bearings,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's not anything against German. There's the German
It's
bearings
just
were the slower bearings compared to
for
the
this
Swiss bearings.
operation, yeah, they need much faster bearings and the special one, which is why the ones are so valuable from the professor.
Yeah,
Right? That's the whole thing. His formula, his design, that's what works. So anyway, he has this. It's like, okay, so and he brings up here it is. He says, "So you just came up with this on the within the whim, what a few days?" And he's like, "Yeah, we work fast. We're good." I don't buy
and
that.
I I'm with you. Like that was to me that's a legit question that Hastings is asking. Like, wait a minute, you just made these. I mean, they can't be 3D printed, right? Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
obviously the bearings you'd be able to tell they're supposed to look the exact same, and they do kind of match them, right? Like they're looking at them and everything. Um,
At first, I thought, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers, when they heard, "Oh, we're going to replace with the fake ones," that's what it was. 3D printed. It was going to be open up, take a look, and then close it. That they were never actually going to put them into production or into
yeah,
operation. And it was just, look, it's sort of like when you see in other movies where they'll swap out a bag of money and they'll put all the fake bills. It looks like real money, and then when you flip underneath, it's all cut up paper.
yeah.
So I figured that's it. I was like, no, but the guy says no, they'll be able to use it. It'll function. It's
And
just never going to get to the speeds that it needs
yeah,
to refine the
which
material.
which is smarter because then you don't think you've been sabotaged. You think you've been sold a bill of goods, right?
Or
They
yeah,
thought
yeah,
they could do
that.
it. It's gonna work. It's just never gonna get to where you need to, no matter how much oil you use.
Hmm. So maybe they figured that it'll be a backfire type of situation. All right, so let's say they try it. Operation goes through. They're like, it doesn't work. All right, so what do we do about the professor? Well, he knows too much about us. He sold something like you said, Bill, it doesn't work. Kill him, and there you go. Problem solved for everybody, right?
Yep.
Like, if that's how it was a plan to go down. But here's another little thing, and I brought this up, and then you were like, "Oh yeah." So once the guy is about to leave, because he was asking all these questions, Hastings asking all these questions, and he calls him by his name. He says Rafe, and
It,
that's a jab to show that he knows more about Hastings.
it was how he said Rafe to him. He said Rafe, he emphasized it like I know who you are. Because you said
Yeah,
to me, uh, that's a mistake. She only said Hastings.
yeah.
And to me, I'm under the assumption that he already knew his name. Like this guy's been doing this stuff. He knows everyone they're working with, and when he emphasizes Rafe, that's when I was like, this guy already knows.
You see,
Which then leads all the way back to is Jed feeding information that he shouldn't, right? So now we're like,
it's
who's
another
really
red
the bad
flag.
guy? Yeah.
We know Hastings has concerns that we saw it earlier in the episode doing the research trying to find out about Jed, but this is valid. Here it is, a guy he doesn't know knows his name, and who knows what else he knows. And
Yep.
I don't believe that Tal is pushing all this info. That's not her role in this operation.
No, but we also saw her hide that envelope, which is
That's
still,
that. Well, that's what I'm
which is
saying. I
still
mean,
like I'm going, oh
I, I'm
boy.
just I'm just thinking from Hastings' point of view. You know, if
Yeah.
you're Hastings, you come in, you're like, okay. She told me to stay in the car, so it's probably because this guy doesn't know anything about me and doesn't want to be alarmed by this 6-something monster of a man walking through the gate. What are you doing here, little man? You know, but no, that's not the case. He knows everything about him, so which means what he probably knows more about this operation than even Hastings.
That's what I'm thinking. Which doesn't make Hastings feel any better because he's completely out of the know. Um, but then we switch to later on in the night, and we have Hastings cutting wood, right?
Yeah,
And he's pissed.
literally cutting wood, just like
Yeah. Just like
logs.
it was just like the Avengers, where Tony Stark and Captain America are cutting wood.
Yeah, it was an interesting scene because he's stressed out and Ben can see it. He was like, "Talk to me. What's going on?" And he says everything seems wrong. Hitting a convoy and on Allied territory and all this stuff is shadiness. He's like, "This is not what we signed up for. You know,
Yeah,
we came in to do a mission, get out, I go home and
and you
walk
get back.
away."
Yeah, you get back in. I go home, right? Like
Yeah,
that. That's his whole thing. He just wants to go back to his family.
just wants to go back, and he's just got all these concerns. But I took the night's audio here.
And I get it. The concerns are warranted, but this risk is worth it 8 days a week. Trust me as much as I trust you, and we'll be fine. Iron sharpens iron, my friend.
Iron sharpens iron. I mean, he's a good friend. The fact that he even bothers to approach him and can read his face, I'm like, man, he's stressed. Maybe some people don't care. They're like, you know what? This is a job. He's got his own issues. He knows his role, but he's not playing that. They're friends and wants
And
to make sure, he's on the level.
again, this to me, and I don't know if this is actually done. I feel like if you watch the TV show SEAL Team, this is the exact same relationship that Bravo 1 and Bravo 2 have for the SEAL Team, right?
Mhm.
They're like best friends, and they know who's in charge, but Bravo 2 has no problem questioning him behind closed doors or when they're alone, right? That's his
Mhm.
job to say you are making mistakes. But the way that Edwards is questioning things, Hastings turns it around and he's like, you're blinded. I see how you're looking you're thinking,
Eliza,
yeah,
he's thinking with the wrong
you're thinking with
head.
the
He's
head. And he goes, it's like he has revenge on his mind.
Mhm.
That's what Hastings is pretty much telling Edwards. And he goes, and I think if you think about it too, you realize that you're having questions too. And if he's not, he should have. I just keep
I
saying
think,
that.
but they both have their valid points for
I
what's
agree.
going on here, and that's where it gets complicated. They have their other motives. There's other things going on in Edward's life. His personal life is pretty much over with the wife, so he's all in on work. Yeah, Eliza's involved. He just had that connection. They kissed, but it was for the scene. But still, I'm sure that idea was planted in his head, as we see later on in the episode. It's still planted, but also you could tell he had like a little Hastings on his shoulder, like, "What did I tell you?" Because he walks out of that room. He could have stayed. He could have
Yeah.
stayed. You know.
Uh, so then we get to the A-team montage, as I called it.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a montage,
A little bit
right? We got
slower than the A-team, but it's them building all this stuff and doing
we
this
got
and doing that.
Tool playing in the background. This.
Yeah, a little. I think this was a little too much filler, but they're kind of showing you what they're doing. They're creating a police car. They're wrapping it. You know how long it takes to wrap a car? It ain't that easy.
They're
But
prepping
if you just
everything.
need
Yeah.
get a quick just get a quick view of it where people aren't going to question. I guess you could. So yeah, we see all of that, and then this is where things get really interesting.
Is this a towel?
Yeah. So
Oh man.
Landry knocks on the door and walks in, and Tal is working on something. Or she's actually soldering stuff.
Yeah.
And she says, like, I didn't tell you could come in. He's like, I smell something burning. And
Okay. I could take that. It's like, hey, it's danger, danger.
but wouldn't you be like, hey, is everything cool? Like, I can smell there's some burning, right?
You would still knock. You would still knock.
Yeah, but you would
wouldn't
not
just-
make. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he walks around. He says, "Close your eyes. I have a surprise for you." She refuses to.
Never do that. Never close your eyes for the stranger.
Well,
He's still a stranger. He's still. I'm sorry. He's still a stranger. She doesn't know him.
She did not yell "stranger danger."
No, she didn't have to go that far, but she's not in danger just yet.
So then he's like, "All right, fine. You ruined the surprise." He pulls out a modified. I'm assuming this is a modified rifle.
Oh,
That
what was
she
that? I
needs
wrote it
something more
down. Was it
powerful.
M6. What's it? M6?
Yeah, it uses 45 caliber, so it doesn't go as far. It's not as powerful, so there's less chance of it hitting a civilian. Different things like this, and it's smaller. This is one of the things I always talk about. I collect action figures, and one of the things that I absolutely hate when it comes to getting a female GI Joe is that you're right. They don't change.
MP6. That was it. It was
Okay,
a
they
modified
don't
MP6. So.
they don't change the size of a weapon because you don't make the M16 smaller so it can fit a female action figure. But in real life, I'm a short guy. I'm not going to grab something that I can't physically use. So give them something smaller. This is exactly what he's doing. But she's like, well, hey, let's get you aiming. And we kind of saw where this was going, right?
Oh man. And this is the part that I don't know. I'm not in this situation. I'm not in this operation, but you would think if you're this high up of level, remember he's from the CIA. This is an intense operation. A lot of craziness is about to go down. Is this the right move to start pushing the moves on one of the other members of the team in this fashion? Would somebody do this? I don't.
And you have two SEALs that don't like you.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, he gets behind her. We know instantly this is gonna go wrong, and he starts leaning in, and he slowly starts touching her arm, and she's like, "No, get out, get out." And he was like, "What? You didn't even thank me." He's already being real skeevy with the whole thing.
Now, see, a better swerve would have been had she turned around and kissed him, and you realize they had a relationship going.
Oh yeah, if that was
Like,
the
they could have
swerve.
done something like that, but this is to show that he's just a scumbag.
Yeah. But we get that when we first met him, right?
I
We
know.
didn't like him at the base.
That's
We
why I said
didn't
it could
like
have been a better swerve.
exactly. We didn't like him when he showed up. Yeah, it would have been a swerve if they had a relationship already going into.
We don't
But
like
no,
him because he doesn't seem like he should be the third Hemsworth brother.
yeah. Oh, don't like it. And then just when you think it couldn't get any worse, when she's trying to get him out, he's like, "Make me." Like, what? Like this again, I can't buy this scene because you're in the base of operations with, like you said, there's other members of the group that do not like you, and
Yeah.
you're all in that vicinity. So I can understand if you were at a hotel off base or off the location there, that's different. But no, this doesn't. And she's screaming it loud, and they're making a commotion.
Yeah, you're not in an office setting where you're someone superior. Your covert operations, one person doesn't even like you. Well, two people don't like you. And those are probably the two most dangerous people on the team. And this goes back, not just from this whole thing. But he basically they kind of have their little fight. And then we have Eliza come in, and of course she punches him and like threatens to stab him or something. And she
Takes out a knife, but then we got Ben shows up, Edward shows up, Hastings shows up. They're standing there watching. They see this all going down. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it.
And by them saying nothing and the look that they have, they are basically telling him, this is where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And he kept saying, I didn't mean anything by it. Really? How? We heard it. Everyone heard it. So it's not like, oh, I cracked a inappropriate joke. No, 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 no. You were in there and then you didn't want to leave. And you were
Yeah.
making her force you out. Come on now. So
So at
I'm
this
just surprised. I'm just
and
surprised.
so at this point here, this is again Edwards talks to Tal, and now she's the lead. He says, "Hey, you know what? I think maybe we should take him off." And she's like, "We,
Oh, you mean Eliza?
yeah, Eliza, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, we should take him off. It's too dangerous." And she says, "We can't complete the mission without him."
Really? Because all I see is him as the getaway driver, right? He's
But you know what?
always
He does end up saving Mo's life.
yes, yes, he does. But I feel like Jed could have been in that car. Somebody.
And I wrote down they have chemistry. Like Edwards and Tao have chemistry.
Eliza. You see, there you go. That's your Malachi.
But
Okay.
I did actually write down Edwards and Tal, but I meant
That was me with Rafe and Rafi a few episodes back. And I
Yeah.
had to put in a comment like, why am I saying that? I don't realize I'm not saying that off camera. I'm like, but whatever, we got it.
So then we
But
switch
yeah.
to bad guy. Oh, go on.
No. I was just confirming what you said. Yeah, that
Oh. But then we get the bad guys. We switch to the bad guys. I'm just gonna call them bad guys because I don't know what they are.
they're that network, the Khalid network.
We see him, the suitcase. He's putting the handcuffs to it. As I mentioned to you, if I have to handcuff something to me because someone doesn't steal it, I'm pretty sure they'll just chop off my arm if they really want.
That's it. Yeah, it's always, and I said they probably do it just so they don't drop it, or something. It doesn't make much sense. I don't know if that's still done to this day. That was a thing that we saw in the 80s and everything. Hell, even the Toys Destro, right? He had his thing, handcuffed him. Everybody would do it. I don't think it's a thing done now, but
You never
hey,
know.
yeah, we never know because this is currently, present generation. It's what 2015 is supposed to be taking place, and this guy's still doing it. So, whatever, if it makes him feel safe.
But as they're driving, they get underneath the bridge and we see an accident. And this is where we see the police car, which they were creating a police car. That's what they were using.
Yep.
And quickly it turns into the ambush. Like they don't waste a lot of time. They're not trying to explain. They just go right into an ambush. So they
I
start.
was surprised. You were expecting that? I was not. I did not think that's what they were. I thought they were going to try
No.
to keep it quiet as much as they could with
No,
this
because
operation.
instantly they go through like smashing
Yeah.
the window because it's going to be bulletproof window, I'm assuming, or bulletproof glass. They smash through it, and then she shoots them. Like they basically just go in there. They shoot everyone. Like they
execute
They're
everybody.
not trying to take anyone.
Yeah.
And then it's their getaway. Now at the same time, as they get everything, they start taking off. That's when we see Jed, who had taken someone out in an office and was placing the gun in his hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make it look like it was a suicide.
Yeah,
Should have said that. Slew slide.
Yeah, it was quick, and I didn't know what was happening there because then we jump back to the firefight, and then of course we see RPG.
Yeah, as he's on the phone, he says RPG. I don't know where the RPG went. It did not explode because it hit the car. It broke through the glass, but it didn't explode.
Right?
Because
the car would have been a piece. The only thing I can think of it hit behind it. It must have hit behind the car.
Yeah, but the windshield was like was
just
the
force, the fly over,
and Mo got shot. Remember, Mo got hit.
He got hit from it, but did he get? It could have been
I
from
don't know.
the windshield.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just a little confused on this. But anyway, firefight breaks out, and for the most part, it's Edwards, Hastings, and Eliza in the firefight.
Yeah.
Mo gets out. Yeah, they get Mo out.
Landry shows up, the driver.
Yeah,
he shoved Mo in and get him out of here. He's gone.
Which I don't know why that little car could not have been taken down. I mean, I would assume that you could have shot that car pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he gets away. Firefight pursuing. Again, they don't have big weapons. They're running off very small, what look like MP5s to me.
Yeah. Really cool scene with Edwards in the street where you see from like a over the shoulder low back, and we can see the whole street area. And as enemies are coming out from different angles, he's just targeting, like,
Yeah.
and you're seeing them drop like dominoes, and then he goes running back, and it's just a really cool scene. Great cinematography in this episode, especially during the fight. That's one thing that's key for any of these, whether it's hand-to-hand combat or military. If you have good camera work to track and not get you dizzy, from all the fast cuts, then it's done properly. That's why everyone loves John Wick, right? You don't have the fast cuts. We're actually seeing it. And
I'm going to agree with you 100% on that. Like,
yeah,
the cinematography was awesome. I mean, from when they're outside of the tunnel to when they get in the tunnel, they're doing where they're peeling back again, and you have Hastings. He's there the whole time, and again, they all have the exact same weapon, so it's not the most powerful weapon, but it's
quiet. It's pretty quiet. That's the other.
Well, it has the suppressors on it,
yeah.
So but it's only going to shoot so far. But again, they're kind of going back and forth, and there's a reason for that too. And I'm gonna mention what I think in a second.
Right. There was people there too. That's the other thing people had to consider. They were watching it. There's civilians. There was others.
And you could hear them screaming too, like in the car, which I thought was actually really. Because I even asked you, I'm like, was that a civilian in the car? And it's like, yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, once again, showing that there's no consideration for what's going on. But as they peel back, what we do see is that Eliza, I got it right.
Yes, there we go.
Eliza and Edwards go into the maintenance corridors because they've already been in there, so they probably know how to get through there. At this point, we don't know what happens to Hastings. That's I'm correct. Assuming. He's safe, but he just he peels back somewhere else.
Yeah, he goes in a different direction. They go down in the tunnels.
Yeah,
and man,
and this shocker. This is where Edwards is like, he's walking. He's like, how could they have done this? How could have known? Yeah,
because they were given 15 minutes, right? That's what Eliza said. We have 15 minutes before the police show up. Once they did the whole transaction, there was no police around, and then RPG. So what the hell? It was a setup. Definitely a setup. And so when he's down there and he's like, hey, that was 5 minutes tops. All of a sudden, he gets shot.
Yeah. So I think she shoots him 3 times in the back.
Yeah.
She pulls out what he has, kicks him in the face. So obviously he's not dead. And then she takes off. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh, man.
So there's a couple things here. I think for one, them using the smaller caliber rifle, it's not going to shoot through the
Kevlar or
the plate carrier that he has on. If I am, and again, if I'm wrong, please let me know. I believe when you put a suppressor on it, it also loses power.
Yeah, definitely.
But she's very. This is close range. But I don't think she meant to kill him.
No. If she wanted to kill him, she could have pointed right in the back of his head.
Yes, I don't think she meant to kill him. And I think this is where we're going to get a swerve. Now she kicks him in the face to knock him out. I think this is where we're going to get a huge swerve. I don't think that she's fully a bad guy.
Yeah, I think maybe she's doing this to show face. To be like, hey, look what I did. I helped you guys out.
Or she's working for another
operation, another group.
Yes, another operation, whether it's in their group or something different. Maybe even with Landry.
Well, because you remember, we do know that this is a joint operation. Yes. Where Jed is working with the Israelis, with the Eliza and Tal. And that was Hastings' other concern when the first moment he showed up. He was like, I didn't know this was a joint operation. So, yeah, there you go. It could very well be another operation, and she's on her own mission to try to get something done. What if
her and Landry are working together?
Landry?
Yeah. That's why he acted the way he did. That's why she flipped out. Any one of them could have flipped out, but they don't. But you don't want him hurt. And she's the perfect one. She's the female. She's the one that's going to take him, right? He doesn't even try and fight back.
Could be.
Where if you let Hastings or Edwards lose it on him, no one's going to be able to pull him off. Just thinking. She wants him on. He has to be on this. We can't do this without him. Just a thought. Because again, she did not aim to kill.
No, she didn't aim to kill. And the only thing I could think of, maybe if she told him that she did kill him. Did you handle him in it? Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
But I would think they would need proof. I thought maybe because we saw it before where in the last episode, Edwards took pictures of the target once he took him down, that maybe she was going to do the same thing. Shoot him 3 times, show that he's down on the ground, take a bit, so that way she can show whatever. Hey, look, I told you I did my end of the bargain. I got rid of him. He's done. Yeah. So let's move on. But yeah, I don't know why, but I'm on the same page. I don't think she has flipped to the dark side. I think that this is more of like, oh, this is for the greater good. She's for whatever operation she's part of. Because if she wanted to kill him, she could have easily. No witnesses, packed to the head, and it's over. So
and then she's gone and to do whatever she's going to do next. So I don't think so either.
All right. Then same thing. People, what say you? What do you think is going to happen with all this? Is there another operation that Eliza and Tal are involved in and separating from the original Jed group? But that's the last scene actually with Jed, because we see that he picks up his phone, battery dead, needs to be charged, and he's like, oh! He's so angry.
That's what we left off. Is that so? He goes to the phone and the battery is dead because we zoomed in on it.
Yeah,
and she had replaced it with something, and I'm assuming that's what killed the battery.
She purposely did it so that that way he couldn't call, he couldn't reach out, and he knew it. He knew she did it.
Yeah. So now the question is, what is it? And again, we won't have to wait very long. We only have 3 more episodes left, guys.
Oh man, yeah. It's like once you start getting into it, it's over. It's like poof.
Yes, that's exactly it.
This is why, again, back to what we harped on at the beginning of this show, is that does it pay to have 3 episodes drop? Just spread them out. Let's get time to breathe. Give it time. Again, some people are like, but you guys dropped all 3. We're not forcing you to watch all. We did that on purpose to help you. So that way, if you were like, oh, I had thoughts, what happened in episode 2, then jump in. You didn't have to worry about finding.
And that's something we've discussed changing too. So.
Yeah. So probably going forward, we're going to change that up, and we'll not drop it the same day. We'll push it for the next day and spread it out. But
it's all trial and error here.
Yep. There we go. But hey, this was overall, it was a good episode. We know the format and the formula. It's a lot of talk, a lot setting things up, and then right toward the end, action.
You mentioned a lot of Mission Impossible. They all have their own jobs that they have to do. And I agree with that. And there was a good amount of filler, but the action at the end was really good.
Yeah.
Not too much, not over the top. And something I fear, I don't ever want to run into that gunfire like that in Detroit.
Yeah, no, it was definitely worth the whole, I wouldn't say the wait because it was good, but we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew there was something that was going to go down. So far, they're 1 for 2 or 1 for 3, I should say, because first mission went smooth. Everything was fine at the club, right? They're like, all right, we did it. Operation high fives for everyone. And then the second one, not so much. Ish is gone. There was a third party that joined uninvited that caused the whole conflict, all that issues, right? And then now we have this where hopefully it's just Edwards injured and nothing's gone on with Hastings, because the worst case scenario, I don't think he's dead. No. But what if he's captured as a hostage?
Hastings?
Yeah. What if they pull something like that? And then that puts more pressure on Edwards because they're like, oh man, he hated this operation. He wanted out. He was ready to leave. And
here's the whole thing. Hastings should be fine because they just needed to get what Edwards has. And clearly Tal was working with them. So once she has it, there's no reason to proceed to.
Okay. So the last part then, right? Because then we'll just end it right here at this point. Just if you remember, did we know that Landry picked up Mo? Did he also pick up the bearings?
No, the bearings were in
They're
The
still in the
burnings are
vehicle
what? No, that's what she took. That's what she took out of
off
that's
of
what
she took from Edwards.
Edwards. Yeah,
Okay, that's okay. I blanked
yeah.
that.
He
I didn't
was
see that
carrying
part.
them.
He was carrying him. All right, because he was trying to escape. Okay, boop. There goes that. All right, just making sure
Inside
because
Lisa.
I wasn't sure if he still had the old ones. Like he didn't get a chance to do the swap. If he had
Yeah,
the fake
no.
ones, if he didn't have a chance to do the whole swap operation, and he was like, "Oh, forget it. We got to restart this."
Yeah.
But either way, it was good. It's a good episode. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in and subbing and commenting, because that's what this is all about. We're covering shows that we like to watch, and we're watching it with you guys. So go ahead, keep doing what you're doing, and we will be back next week for episode 5. So crazy. Episode 5. Only 2 weeks in, and we're already on episode 5. It sounds nuts. Sounds wrong.
It can be exhausting in some ways.
That too. All right, everybody. Have a good week. Later.
Take care.